Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the SFC interviews. This is episode number 83 here with Jason Cowley today, former Stevenage striker. So, how are you doing, Jason? And of course, it's been a very turbulent year, isn't it, for everyone?
I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, and it's been a up and down past couple of 18 months, I'd say, with what's gone on with the pandemic and everything. But we're getting through it now, and hopefully we can start stepping forward in life and on the pitch.
Absolutely, and we'll go into when you come and sign for Stevenage. What was it about Stevenage that kind of took your fancy as a club?
I've met Dino Marmari before. I played against him when he was very keen with his previous job, and I didn't think much of it. And then when he got the job at Stevenage, I seen, and then he had me in on trial, and I come in on trial the year before, and I scored in the trial game, and he was impressed with me. So, and the setup for League Two for Stevenage is very good, and the staff, and I can't really say much bad about the club and the facilities, really.
And that was a big step up for you, of course, as well, because you had played, in the lower divisions, and you've been very prolific in the lower divisions as well with Bromsgrove Sporting, and I think one season you scored 30 goals, one season you scored something like 50 goals for them. So really, prolific couple of seasons in the lower leagues as well beforehand.
Yeah, I'd done well, good for about 3 seasons, and I got my chance, and I had a bash at it, and it wasn't to be. So.
And let's get into the next question really. And you played under in that season. It was under a couple of different managers, wasn't it? It was Dino, Graham Wesley, and Alex Revell as well, and Mark Sampson as well. There was the 4 managers, and what were they like as managers, and the kind of contrast in styles between the 4 of them?
There was different style from basically. Dino and Graham are pretty similar. Like the work ethic, non-stop. They just run. They want you to work hard, and we work hard. You get places in life as that's how they've grew up, and that's how I've grew up, really.
Yeah.
And then you've got Mark Sampson. I can't say a bad word about that man. He's man-to-man management. He's on off the field work. Everything. He's a top coach, and I really have got a lot of respect for him. Other than that. I think I had Revs come in, and I don't think we played 1 or 2 games, and then it got suspended, didn't it? Like, he called me back from my my loan spell at Solihull, and he was saying to me, like, you're in my plans. I want you to be playing for the next 10 games we've got left. I need your help. I want the lads that we've got here, not as so much like the loan players, because we had a lot of loan players in, and I was listening. I was and we played a few in-house friendlies. And obviously, COVID stopped it all, and it literally stopped my experience at Stevenage there.
And for you as a striker as well, you were competing, with 4 or 5 other strikers, established league strikers in the majority of them as well. I think Craig McCall-Smith was there. I think obviously Elliot Lish was there. Danny Newton was there. I think was Simeon Jackson there for a while as well, and there was a few, one or two others. So does that make your sort of task, that much more difficult, having to compete with those sort of more established league players?
Yeah, we was all competing for the same spot, really, weren't we? It was either playing 1 up front or 2 either the wing backs, or there was 2 up top. But I can't really say it was a bad atmosphere competing. Everyone was helping each other. We were just literally, we was in a rut, not a rut, but we needed some wins, we needed points, and when Mark took over, we started to gradually build a lot stronger, and we was pulling results, and I scored a few, and I was doing a little better than what I thought I would have done.
And it was you had a really good time with Steve. I know you had scored a couple of goals as well, and there was 2 league goals, and 3 goals in the cup as well. Winning goal against Wickham was one of them, wasn't it? And I think you scored in 2 goals in the other game in that cup as well. I'm trying to think who it was against now, but you had Colchester. That's right. You had certainly an impact in that side.
Yeah, Mark, he did put a lot of belief in me. He put me on that game. He put me on penalties, and he was like, listen, go and do your thing. And I was just like, hopefully I done what he asked me to do. With me and Craig McCall-Smith, that game worked as hard as we could, and scored the goals, won the game, and it was what he asked of us.
And of course, when you come on against Cambridge was your debut, wasn't it, as well? 1-1 draw against Cambridge. And,
Yeah,
what was that like for you as an occasion? Of course, making your first, appearance as a Football League player as well.
it was a weird feeling. I was buzzing. Like, it just didn't seem surreal. I've dreamt to be a professional footballer my whole life, as every young kid has, and to actually do it and like to fill in that surrounding for the year that I was there, it was a good feeling.
And it was Cambridge as well, so you come straight into the derby as well.
Yeah.
So did you kind of know much about that?
No, I didn't really have a clue. I didn't really realise it was a local derby, as they call it. So, and it was good to like the goal. Like the goal, I think it was an own goal, but I'll take it. Like I've got across the defender as L's shot, and I've just touched it, and he's hit it, and it's gone off him as well. So I'll take it.
They all count, absolutely, and you got to, for a striker, you've got to claim it, yeah.
100%.
So we've got a few questions in the comments which I'll come to in a moment as well. But in terms of that season, what were your sort of experience like in that season as a whole? I know we touched on there that you scored a couple of goals and just being around the camp there and being involved as well. What was your kind of main experience of that season and how it all went?
Don't take it for granted. Like I appreciated it every day, and I thought like I don't know, it didn't feel real to me, and I just literally thought every day just work hard. I stayed out in training. I done all my shooting after. Like I loved it literally every day.
That's great. And of course, you were, as we said, you were competing against some good established league players as well. And
definitely, Curtis was there, and Curtis had played for many league games and scored many league goals. And he was always the loudest one, and it was good to be around. Really, they helped me a lot, but all of them did.
And in terms of your strike partner as well, did you have anyone that you kind of had more games with in terms of the others, and did you kind of form a bond with anyone of the other strikers as well, or not really?
It was hard, really. I played a lot. I think I played more with Curtis, and then because Danny was injured, Craig McCall-Smith wasn't really playing at the time. We played a few, me and Craig, but me and Craig are kind of similar. Obviously, he's proven, but we just both like work as hard as each other. His work rate for his age, and I was literally, he's still in the gym at the end. He's very hard working, and he deserved everything he's done in his career. I think because it showed to the younger lads that he's 35 or however old he was, and he was working harder than some of us. So it just goes to show, like, if you want it, you just got to work hard.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter about how old you are or how long you've been around the game for. It's that's the important factor. Is if you work hard, you get the reward for it. Yeah,
100%.
So we've got a question here. Let me go to some of these comments in the chat. We've got a few people a little bit active as well before I go to my own little notes. Laura said, "Evening, Mike and Jason. What was your best time at Stevenage?" So I suppose sort of any standout memories of the club in terms of games or training sessions or anything really. Yeah.
Training was always fun, but probably my best time was scoring my first actual goal. I think it was the header at Wickham, and we won 1-0, and I was literally thinking like it was like I was proud. Like it was a proud moment for me, and obviously my family was all watching, and like it just felt good to actually score I think it was there. It was my actual first like real professional goal. So that was my standout moment. And yeah, Jersey, the pre-season tour was good. I'd never been and done that, and it was a good experience, very good experience.
And that was the first time that Stevenage had been out to Jersey as well. And what I will say in regards to that tour, Ben Nugent, what a finish that was! Like nobody ever saw that from Ben, and that was a screamer, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had an injury. I couldn't even play, and I bruised my bone on my knee, and obviously I wasn't used to the full-time training, so it was hard. I got used to it in a couple of weeks after when I recovered. But Nugent's goal was a wonder strike.
It was all right for a centre half.
Yeah, it wasn't. Tell you what, I don't think I've seen him do another one of them.
I don't think many people have, not from that kind of a distance anyhow. And then we've got some other comments here. Jason, I've got a couple of questions for you. One coming from Bromsgrove. What are your thoughts on Hitchin Town as a team? Do you know that coming up against them as well?
I've seen them. I've seen Hitchin. It's a good little setup for doing Evo Stick Prem as well. The current team I play for is I've gone back to Bromsgrove and we'll be playing them this season. Yeah, it's a good little team. We played there pre-season. I didn't play, but I was in the stands watching. I remember like a few fans being there. Yeah, it's decent side, aren't they?
And he's also just put in another question here in regards to Chelsea as well, and Timo Werner. I don't know how much you know about Timo Werner and how he's been getting on with Chelsea, and he just wants to kind of hear your thoughts. Do you think he'll come good in the end with Chelsea?
Come good in the end. I think he's done fantastic already for what he's done in the short space of time, and to take over when he did. He's got Champions League final. I think they've conceded 3 goals, and now I do obviously watch quite a lot of football, so they've conceded 3 goals in the time he's been there, and he's kept quite a few clean sheets. He's a glued up manager. I think he knows what he's doing, and I don't think they've got a problem to worry about with him.
And I think the next question as well, the next comment was, do you think Chelsea will challenge for the league? And personally, I think they'll be up there next season. It'll be Man City, Chelsea. They'll be there or thereabouts.
I've got a soft spot for Man United, so hopefully it's Man United, Chelsea, and Man City. Hopefully they go toe to toe for the whole season.
Okay, then Jordan's put in, who was your best friend at Stevenage? Who was your kind of guy that you used to hang around with or room with on away days and things like that?
Ben Kennedy. Me and him had a very close relationship.
Yeah, Kenneth was. I loved Kenneth when he was at the club as well. When he was coming through, he was a real bright spark, and actually he's doing well in Ireland as well now, isn't he?
Yeah. We're still in contact. We still speak. We was together all the time. After we'd go do things together. We'd go and eat together. We was always together. Literally, we'd go to the gym together. After go swimming pool together. We've done quite a lot together.
All right, and then we've got a comment here from Dan as well in regards to the Euros as well. He seems to think that Germany will go on and win it. Who would you say? Who's your sort of tip for the Euros?
England.
England will go on and have a successful Euros. I'll take that.
I won't be saying Germany anyway. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, we'll certainly take it. England over Germany, that's for sure. Yeah. Next one, what was your favourite pre-match meal or post-match meal to kind of help you get ready for a game or unwind after a game?
Pre-match meal, we had I like to have a little bit of like chicken beans, bit of pasta, like just something a couple of hours before, just to keep you going. And then after, we used to have nice Dominoes. It's always nice to get your sugars in. I always tell you what, now I still do have a can of Coke after a game of football, just because just I don't know why, it makes me feel better after a football. It's good, get full fat Coke. It tastes nice.
All right, and Dan said the last one before we go into my notes. What was your thoughts on Ben Wilmot as well? A player that come through the ranks at Stevenage and has been really successful, going to Watford and Swansea, etc.
He's worked hard, and he's got talent, and I wish him all the best, because if he takes it in his stride, he'll only go one place, and that's up in it. So, and he's doing very well at Watford, and they've just got a pre-season friendly, have they?
With Stevenage, yeah.
So fair play. So he'll come back and haunt Stevenage.
He probably will score now in him as well, and the fact that his dad played at Stevenage as well beforehand, years back. So. It's a family affair, really. I think it was the same with Nuge as well. I think Ben Nugent's dad played for Stevenage as well back years and years ago, like the 80s, 90s, something like that. So there's a family connections with a few sort of those guys. Yeah,
that's good, then, isn't it?
It's a bit like John Dreyer as well. John Dreyer's son is with the academy now. He's in the academy coming through. Yeah. So what we got to cover now. So we touched on the game against Cambridge as well, and what it was like to compete against some of these other players. Let's have a look. So if we look at some of the players that you played with, you played with some of the current group as well that are still there now, in terms of Listy and Charlie Carter, TVC, and Scott Cuthbert, just to name a few of them. And what did you sort of make of Scott as a captain? How was he as a leader in terms of getting the group together?
A good leader. I won't say much. There isn't nothing bad about him. He's very he'll message you after the game privately, and he'll tell you if you've done good, and he'll tell you if you're bad, and he'll tell you what you need to do and where you need to be. It's simple as that. He's straightforward, and he's a good captain. He's good round the lads. He looks after everyone, really. he's a good team player.
And some of those other players there as well. Elliot List, in particular, he had a fantastic season last season. Got double figures in terms of scoring as well, playing through the middle, which I think when you were playing, he was playing more as a sort of midfielder. And I think since he changed position, he's become, one of the probably one of the better strikers in the division.
Yeah, definitely. Listy's got it. Listy's got it all. He's just might have been confidence. Maybe we was all low on confidence. Listy's quick, powerful, can shoot, can attack. He can do it. He can do it all. Listy can. I think Listy. I don't think he should be playing in League Two, in my opinion. But everyone is where they are, and only he can change that. So.
And TVC as well. Terence was, he's a fantastic centre back. Was an international as well with Guyana, and him and Scott Cuthbert. A nice little solid foundation really as a back two there in terms of centre backs. Luke Pross is still there as well now. So they're building quite well for next season, the Stevenage as well, with Ben Coker signing. Hopefully Luther Wilding can sign at right back maybe as well for an extension there. And then that's your back 4 or 5 really, which is quite a solid back 4 or 5 as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. TBC he's so laid back. Well, he's so good on the ball. He's calm. He's a very good player. And Luther's probably the fittest player I've ever come across in my whole time of being playing football. Luther is unbelievably fit.
And as we touched on, Charlie Carter as well, another one that's just signed on for next season to extend his contract, and he's another player that last season he had a lot of injuries. I think the season before he had a lot of injuries as well. And if you can keep Charlie Carter fit, he's a match winner as well, isn't he?
Definitely, he can play in a lot of positions all across the midfield. He'll do a job literally wherever you want him to. Last year he even played up front. Well, they were not the season I was there. Sorry, he even played up front. He can do it all. He's just keeping him fit.
And then we've got a comment here from Dan as well about Luther Wilding, just saying what was he like to play with, and hopefully he's able to sign a deal and that's able to get finalised or organised, because he is a really good player in my opinion. Luther, one of the better right backs in the league, and certainly up there to be one of the better right backs in probably League One as well.
Yeah, I think Luther's an outstanding professional in my opinion. His work ethic, everything about him, he lives and breathes football. He's literally in the gym. He's constantly working on what he can. His fitness is he does the most out of everyone probably. I'd say he's a top professional, and people look up to him.
And then Russ has put a comment here as well, and he just says, in your career, have you always been a striker, or did you play other positions as well?
I've always played straight down the middle. Never played anywhere else.
You've always fancied yourself as being the main sort of front man,
Yeah, the goal scorer.
That's all right. It's not a bad position to play. It's one of the most rewarding. Yeah.
That's the reason you play football, isn't it? To get rewards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at Alex Revell, Alex himself is a very prolific striker. He's now gone into management with the club as well. And when you've got guys like Alex Revell, he's going to certainly help out some of the younger players as well that are around the camp now, no doubt. Especially forwards, in terms of getting them ready for the season and kind of teaching them and showing them the way a bit.
Yeah, he's done it all, hasn't he? He's been played at Wembley, scored at Wembley. How many caps he's done? He's captain Stevenage. He knows it. Stevenage inside out. For me, the job's right for him really. And look what he's done so far. He come in and struggle, at the struggle, and then this last season, how many points off playoffs? You weren't that far, was they?
No, there were talks about playoffs up until probably 4 or 5 games from the end of the season. Yeah,
that's what I mean. You can't knock him for his first time in management, can you? Really?
No, he's done a really good job. On the back of the troubles of the season before as well, and getting into so we stayed in the league really the way that we did, and then getting off to a pretty difficult start as well, and then getting in Dean Wilkins to help out with him and Mark Sampson as well for the second half of the season. It really helps, and they went on a very good run. Did the club as well? Got a lot of wins, a lot of unbeaten games, without even conceding goals, and it was positive times for the majority of that second part of the season. Yeah,
It definitely was.
it's good to have that to look forward to for next season as well, because I think they've started doing the transfer business early, and that's good because they're able to. If you look at some of the names that have been signed, Jake Taylor, established ex-captain of Exeter, like they're signing some good players. Well, they're not signing any mugs who, players that are might be said to be a bit past it or whatever. Like they're signing some really good top draw players. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I agree. If they've got to build on from last year, haven't they? Really, so they've got to put something to get something out of it. Really.
Absolutely, and then we touched on with Alex Ravel before, and we just touched on the job that he did there as well. And with the community side of it as well, the club being as active as they were in the community, that's always been an ongoing thing. And throughout the pandemic, that's been massively important, hasn't it, as well?
Yeah, I've seen them. Well, obviously, I've seen them delivering food and stuff like that. They're a good community. Stevenage is a tight bunch, ain't it? Really, so they was helping when they could and wherever they could.
And it's great that they're able to give back to the fans that go and support them week in, week out, and travel long distances to watch them on the away days and stuff as well. Yeah.
Yeah. There was always the few fans that came everywhere we went when I was there, and you can't knock them for that. Even Exeter away, like far places like that, Swindon, and I was like, fair play to them. Like you got your loyal support.
And in the season that we had as well, it was a very rough season where we were struggling down the bottom, and that it's credit to the fans really to actually still turn up in numbers every single game and back the boys as much as we did.
Yeah, you can't knock them for that. Obviously, every player appreciates that because there's no better feeling than hearing the fans when you score and cheering you on when you're playing well and stuff. Confidence boost all round, really.
And then let's have a look now. So you said about where you are now. So you've gone back to Bromsgrove Sporting again. You're back playing with them at the moment, are you?
Yeah, well, I'm in talks on a new contract. I need to see what's going on. I've had other offers. Just need to see what I need to see what's right for me at the time with my family and go from there, really.
Okay, but I'm sure you're only a young lad. You're 25, so you've still got plenty of time to make your name in the football league as well. In terms of you've still got a good career ahead of you. Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously that's my aim again. I'll never stop working towards that because there was no better feeling really. So I need to knuckle down, score some goals, and try and get myself back out there. Really.
Okay, then the next question really is in regards to some of your own sort of personal inspirations growing up. Who were the kind of team that you supported, and any kind of personal inspirations that you kind of modelled your game on?
I touched on it. I've got a soft spot for Man United because the only player I ever wanted to be was Rooney. So I literally still wear the Nike boots. I used to copy everything about him. I had a poster of him. It sounds mad, but I'm a Blues fan through and through. But I always used to follow Wayne Rooney, so that was who I always looked up to.
He's a good player as well. Certainly a good inspiration to a lot of the younger players and things like that. He's gone on and he's achieved with United in England. He's achieved a lot in the game. Yeah.
He's one of the best goal scorers in the world.
And then absolutely, he's certainly up there with the top. Aguero, etc. These days. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Harry Kane's as well. Yeah.
I don't think stats don't prove anything with Aguero because he beats him hands down. So I prefer Rooney over Aguero all day. Fair
enough. And in terms of the next question, really, how important is it going to be to get these fans back into the stadiums as well? And that's going to be massive for clubs, isn't it, to kind of get the backing behind them now?
Yeah, 100%. Every home game feels completely different with fans behind you. Like when you're driving forward and you can hear the roar, and the fans help out every way, don't they? They help put money behind the till, put money in the players' pockets. They help. Everything helps. Especially a smaller club, they ain't got millions of pounds like Man City's and stuff like that, have they? So every little penny helps, and the support definitely doesn't go unnoticed by everyone and everyone around the ground, and especially the chairman. He'll know that he wants supporters in every week.
And I think that's where the scheme that they've done, through the pandemic as well, going out into the community and doing the deliveries and that. I think that's going to come back, and that's going to be a real positive in terms of getting the fans through the door now, because even people that might not have been down to Stevenage or not been down for years and have received a little package from the club might be like, yeah, we'll give back to them for a game, and then you never know, do you? After that, once you've been to the game, you might really enjoy it, getting hooked, and end up taking family, friends, whoever else.
Yeah, it shows the appreciation really of what they actually think of the fans and the community to help out when they didn't need to, but they did, and they will continue to. And if anything happened again with the pandemic, I'd say they'll be there again to help, because someone with a little bit more than someone else can always help them out. It doesn't cost anything, especially if it's like a food bank and stuff like that. I'd help anytime for them.
Okay, and then we've got a couple of comments as well. Dan said one here in regards to Chelsea again as well, just saying about Mason Mount and what do you make of him? Do you think he's going to go on and have a successful Euros, and what do you make of him this season? In terms of, do you think it's just a one-hit wonder sort of thing, or do you reckon he'll go on and really kick on now?
Yeah, I think Mason Mount, the more he's played, the more he's looked like a very, very, very good footballer. He's been at Chelsea all his life, and he knows everything about them. So I think he's going to be one to him, Foden, Grealish. I think we've got a very good team order. So I don't think many teams will be able to handle our attacking force, even with the bench. I think like Mason Mount he'll be a steady midfielder for us in England and for Chelsea.
I think with England, you touched on it there. That is an exciting front line as well, isn't it? With Harry Kane being as prolific as he is, and then you've got Grealish, you've got Foden, you've got Mount, you've got Saka, you've got some really good players in there.
I don't think we've ever had so much to choose from, have we? So
no.
It's almost all come at once, and we're like, well, what do we do? How do we play? Who do we play? And we just got to get the right balance, and hopefully we can do something about it.
And I'm sure we'll go on, and a lot of those players will feature in the Euros and play really well and have sort of big impacts in it.
Yeah, definitely, I think.
So let's have a look here now. So we touched on some of the players that the club brought in as well, and how important is that to get the balance right as well between sort of some younger players coming through, like yourself, who has been from the lower leagues and been prolific in the lower leagues and given that opportunity, and then some experienced heads as well to kind of help you lot out with the ones coming through into senior football for the first time.
Yeah, it's definitely you need to balance out, because like the guidance, like Diggers, Paul Digby, he was always like behind the lads. He was very like encouraging him, Scotty, like Joel, like there was all like the older boys put your arm around you if you needed it, or bollocked you if you didn't. Like they weren't there to mess around. If you done anything in training and they thought you was taking the mick, they'd let you know. Let me tell you, and I've found that out straight away. Like Stokesy. Stokesy was a born winner, and you do something in training and you say something back, and he's like, listen, I've been there, done it. I know how it is. Like,
yeah.
You have to look back and think, well, you know what, you got to appreciate them.
And I like Stokesy. I think he was a really good player, and he's gone on to captain Forest Green, hasn't he, as well now?
Yeah, I think he's just left as well. I do.
So he's been doing well there with Forest Green, and I'm sure he'll go on and he'll do well now wherever he moves. He's a good player, and of course you were around Ronnie Henry as well for a while there, and of course Ronnie, being the fantastic player that he is, the fantastic, lovely man that he is as well, would have certainly been a great person to be around.
Yeah, well, I didn't really speak much with Ronnie, because Ronnie was the reserves or 18s coach when I was there with Alex Raval. When I come in, they weren't players when I come in, was they? They were just coaches.
Coaches, yeah.
So I didn't really we spoke, but we didn't really it wasn't like often.
But then sort of players coming in like yourself, were you aware of what Ronnie had achieved for the club in terms of the promotions and the trophy wins? You didn't really know, no?
No, not till I found out, and then you see like the pictures around the training ground and stuff like that, and then you start digging, don't you? You find out more as you go along.
And that's great, because that's great to have Ronnie still involved with the 18s at the club as well, and that's going to be a big boost for them coming through to have somebody that knows the club and that knows the football league and the way of the football league as well.
Yeah, definitely. He'll know what if he thinks a player's good enough to go and play training with the first team, there's no better man than Revs here. He'll have any, like the young guns. He loves the young guns. He thinks there's a lot of the young lads, and he'll definitely help them push through the team. Like Jack Smythe, he was there when I was there, and he was good then. And then how many appearances and games he's played this year, and he hasn't looked out of place one bit, has he? So just goes to show that they've got it in depth as well.
And there's been a few. I know Arthur Ryington was around as well, and Jack, as you said there, Liam as well, and Louis. Yeah, there's been a few that have come through, and they've had loan spells and whatever. But in Jack's case in particular, he was really good. He was instrumental towards the end of last season. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always watching the highlights and stuff, and he was doing very well. So just need to keep it up, and then he won't be there for long.
I'm sure he'll go on and achieve quite a lot. And that's we have to say in regards to that as well. That's really important, isn't it? To give these opportunities to the younger players coming through the ranks, and then they're able to maybe be sold for big money or decent money, and then that could be reinvested back into the squad again, which is that's really good, and that's it. Stevenage over the years have done that really well.
Yeah, like Kenners went through the all the way up, didn't he? Really, and he had a lot of potential, and Kenners had a lot of things going on at home, so Kenners decided to go home. Fair play to him if that's where he wants to be and that's where he wants to go and play. I reckon Kenners could have walked into another League Two team with click of his fingers, in my opinion. So
yeah, absolutely, he was a real fantastic player, and on his day he was unstoppable, wasn't he? Yeah. So we've got just a few more questions to cover now. And that's all right. I thought you might have frozen for a second there, but you're all right.
No.
But that's fine, mate. So we kind of just wanted to cover this one here as well in regards to making the step up as well. We sort of touched on it earlier, but talk to us a little bit about the time that you have with Bromsgrove Sporting, and of course very prolific couple of seasons, and then you get that call from Stevenage, and it's you get into the Football League. But sort of, how does that make you feel? Were you a little bit nervous about coming to the Football League, or was it kind of something you just took in your stride?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect really, and then when it happened, it was all so quick. Like it just happened. And then I was like, "Whoa, I'm signing for Stevenage. I'm going to be a professional footballer." And I was like, my mum got upset, and she was very proud because she knows how much I've worked for it and how much I've always wanted to be a professional. So she was very happy. They was all happy. It was just
that's good. And then what was that?
Bad timing, in my opinion. That's what I thought. I had a chance when we had a chance to go back and play, and I thought I could have tried to earn my next year contract to try and, but then COVID stopped it all, and then past 18 months, I think I've played about a handful of games, and it hasn't done me any good really.
And with COVID, of course, the club would have had to make cuts as well, wouldn't they, in terms of the playing staff and whatever that might have stuck around for the next season. And it's a shame in a way that you didn't get more of an opportunity with the club. You only had a short while there because, as I said before, when you were playing and when you had these games that you were involved in, and you scoring goals, etc. as well. A lot of fans were excited about you coming through from the lower divisions into the side as well, and showing what you were about. There's a lot of people that I've spoken to who are very, what's the word? Sort of just very excited to see what you would have offered the club in the future and in the next few seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of good feedback off the fans. I didn't get much, didn't get really any negativity. It was all excited, telling me they wanted me to play more and stuff. Obviously, I get messages on social media and stuff, and I was buzzing. Literally, I was the only thing really that at the start it was it was the different levels in fitness. That was it. And once I got up to the speed and worked on that, and everyday training literally I loved it every minute of it.
And then, so we've got just a few more questions to cover, really, and let's have a look here. So, in terms of this is quite a good question, I think, as well. In regards to when somebody's released by a club, how important is it to kind of not let your head drop and to kind of come back and kind of keep your head, strong, and do the FA and etc. Do they have kind of support in place for players getting released or whatever as well?
When obviously you get you get emails, messages off the FA saying if you need mental support or you want to speak to someone, or you do get things like that, and you can't let your head get down in this business. It is a business. It's literally a job, isn't it? So, but it's different. It's a job that I love. Like, I don't really class it as a job. I class it as a hobby, really, because I love it that much. So
it's more just a bit of fun. You can go out there, and it is just like you're playing with your mates, like you used to do back in growing up. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have let my head fail a lot when I was 15 when I got released. You know what I mean? You just got to keep going. It's about opinions, and football is all it will be is opinions. If someone don't like you, someone will like you, and if they don't like you, someone else will. It's literally, if they want you, they'll have you. If they don't, they don't want you. Simple as that.
And that's good that the FA have got that in place as well to kind of help players. And I'm sure they've probably got something similar in place for players coming out of the game, retiring as well. I'm sure they've probably got something in place for them too.
Oh yeah, there's definitely options. If all you've done is live and breathe football for your whole career, and you've got nothing to step back onto, you're gonna need some kind of support, some help, and someone to talk to about what to do next in your life. Because obviously, football career is only short, isn't it?
Absolutely. And then just finally, before we wrap this up as well, is what advice would you give to anyone who is kind of either getting started out at a club or maybe trying for a club as well?
Work hard. Try your best. There's not much other than working hard. If you've got the talent, that's why you're there. You wouldn't be there if you wasn't talented. But if you work hard, don't let no one say, "Oh, you're trying to suck up to the manager." Not just do you. Just work as hard as you can, and just try and be the best you can on and off the pitch. That's all. I don't get yourself into nothing stupid, silly. Just do the best you can, and you will achieve. That's how I feel.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up there then, Jason. So thanks a lot for taking about half an hour out of your evening to do this as well. And good luck with what happens next in your career. And I'm certainly going to look out for your name in the future as well, because I do see you going on and getting into the Football League again in future future seasons.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure. Nice to sit down and have a chat. So I wish you all the best as well.
Cheers, thanks a lot, mate. And England are going to win the Euros, so we can get excited, huh?
Yeah, we will.
Nice one. Cheers, Jason.
Nice one, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, thanks a lot.